Imagine a man stepping off a plane in a strange country. No guards, no cameras, just him looking like any regular guy. But he's no regular guy. He's President Ibrahim Traoré, the brave leader of Burkina Faso, loved by millions. Yet today he's just a cousin excited to visit his family, bursting to meet his cousin's newborn triplets, his heart full of joy. But hold on tight, because one wrong knock on a door is about to spark a storm of hate, screaming police sirens, and a truth so big it'll change how you see the world. Stick with me for this jaw-dropping African tale that's not just a story, but a lesson we all need to hear. The sun burns hot over a rich neighborhood far from home, where huge houses with shiny gates and perfect green lawns look like they belong in a movie, fancy cars sit in driveways, flowers bloom in neat rows, and every window shines so bright you can see your face in it. But under all this beauty, something mean hides, ready to jump out at anyone who looks different. Ibrahim gets out of an old, creaky taxi, wearing a plain blue shirt and dark pants, no fancy suit, no sign he's a president, just a guy here to see his cousin Aisha, who just had 3 tiny babies, triplets, and he's their proud godfather. His smile big as he thinks about surprising her. But here's the big problem. His phone is dead, no power at all, and the little note with Aisha's address? He forgot it back at his hotel. Oh no, he laughs to himself, shaking his head. What a mess. He looks around. Every house looks the same, all big and fancy, no street signs to help, just a maze of rich people's homes that feel cold and strange. He walks for 20 minutes, checking mailboxes, hoping something looks familiar, but nothing clicks. So he decides to do what anyone would: knock on a door and ask for help. Simple, right? Nope, because this one choice is about to turn his day into a crazy mess, and you've got to keep going to see how wild this gets. Ibrahim picks a nice white house with bright red roses all around, their petals glowing in the sun. He walks up the path, his shoes crunching on the stones, and rings the doorbell, his heart light. Thinking someone will help a guy just trying to find his family, the door swings open, and a woman in her late 50s steps out, her hair tied back tight, her eyes squinting at him like he's already trouble. Her mouth turns down. What do you want? She snaps, her voice sharp like a slap. Ibrahim smiles, staying polite. Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm visiting my cousin. She just had 3 babies. I'm their godfather, but my phone's dead, and I forgot her address. Can I use your phone or get directions? His words are kind, his voice soft, but the woman's face gets harder, her arms crossed tight. Why are you here? She yells, stepping forward like she's guarding her house. This is a nice place for good people. We don't want people like you walking around. Ibrahim blinks, her words hitting him like a punch. People like me? He asks, keeping calm. I'm just looking for my cousin. I don't want trouble. Her voice gets louder, full of anger. Don't lie. I know you're kind. You come here to steal or snoop around. This is for rich people, not you. Her words sting, but Ibrahim stays cool, his hands open to show he's no threat. Ma'am, I'm from Burkina Faso. I'm here for my family. I just need help, he says again, but she's already grabbing her phone, her eyes shining with rage. I'm calling the police, she shouts. Get out now, or you'll regret it. Ibrahim raises his hands. Please, no need for that. I'm telling the truth. But she's not listening. She's dialing, her fingers fast. Neighbors peek out from their windows, whispering, judging. A man across the street steps out, shaking his head like Ibrahim's already guilty. And in just 10 minutes, sirens wail loud. 2 police cars screech up, their lights flashing red and blue. And you won't believe what's coming next. 2 police officers jump out, one a big, tough guy with a hard face, the other a quick woman with sharp eyes, their hands near their guns as they march toward Ibrahim. The woman from the house points at him, her voice loud and angry. That's him. He's been knocking on doors, acting sneaky. I told him to leave, but he wouldn't. I'm scared. The big officer steps up. Do you live here? He asks, his voice rough. Ibrahim shakes his head, calm as ever. No, officer, I'm visiting my cousin. She just had 3 babies. I'm their godfather. My phone's dead. I lost her address. I just needed help. The sharp-eyed woman snaps, show us your ID. Now. Ibrahim nods, it's in my pocket. But as he moves to get it, the big officer yells, don't move. Hands up. Ibrahim freezes, his heart beating fast but his face steady. I'm not dangerous, he says quietly, raising his hands. I just want to call my cousin. She'll tell you. The woman officer sneers, you're in a fancy area. You don't belong here. Who let you in? Ibrahim stays calm. I came by taxi. I'm not a criminal. My name is Ibrahim Traoré. I'm the president of Burkina Faso. The officers look at each other and laugh, loud and mean. President? The big one says, sure, and I'm a movie star. The woman officer steps closer. Nice story. We've heard it all. Ibrahim tries again. Check my ID. Call my cousin. She'll tell you. But she cuts him off. You're a suspect. You don't get to ask for anything. And before he can say more, they grab his arms, rough and quick, snap cold handcuffs on his wrists. Whoa. Can you believe this? And shove him into the police car. The woman from the house watches, a smug smile on her face. That's what you get, she says as the car speeds off. Ibrahim looks out the window, the world zipping by, his heart heavy not just for himself but for every person judged like this, a president locked up because of his skin. And you've got to see what happens at the station because it's about to get wilder. The police station is cold and dark, the lights buzzing like angry bugs. The air smells of old coffee and dusty papers. Ibrahim sits on a hard metal bench in a small room, his wrists still cuffed, the walls scratched and dirty. He's calm, sitting straight, but his mind is racing. If this can happen to me, a president, what about all the regular people with no voice? The officers who arrested him don't even look at him as they lock the door. We'll deal with you later. The big one grumbles, leaving him alone in the dim, chilly room. Ibrahim closes his eyes, saying a quiet prayer for strength, not for himself, but for the millions who face this every day. Their stories hidden. He thinks of his people in Burkina Faso, the promises he made to fight for fairness, and now here he is, locked up for nothing, judged for his skin. His heart hurts, not for the insult to him, but for what it means for so many others. The cuffs are tight, the bench cold, but he stays calm, knowing getting mad won't help. Only truth will. Across town, Aisha walks back and forth in her warm living room, one of her tiny triplets crying in her arms, her face full of worry. Her husband Michael checks his phone again. Ibrahim should have been here hours ago, he says, his voice tight. His phone's still off, Aisha says, her voice shaking. Something's wrong. He was so excited to see the babies. He'd never just disappear. Michael tries calling again, but it's voicemail. Aisha rocks the baby, her eyes wet. I know something's happened, she says, her heart pounding. Their cozy house feels heavy with fear. The triplets sleep in their cribs, tiny and unaware, and you won't believe what happens when a new officer changes everything. Back at the station, a young officer named Sarah starts her shift. She's new, eager to do her job right. But something about the man in the holding room catches her eye. She peeks through the small window. He doesn't look like the usual suspects. He sits tall, his eyes calm but deep, like they hold a big story. She checks the report. Trespassing, acting sneaky. It doesn't feel right. He looks different, not like a criminal. Who's that guy? She asks the big officer, who's sipping coffee. Some guy wandering in a rich area. He shrugs, says he's looking for his cousin, probably lying. Sarah frowns, her stomach telling her something's off. She knocks on the door and steps inside. Hello, sir, she says, her voice kind. What's your name? Ibrahim looks up. Ibrahim Traoré, he says, his voice steady. You said you're looking for your cousin? She asks, pulling out a notebook. Yes, he says. She lives nearby. She just had 3 babies. I'm their godfather. My phone died. I lost her address. I just needed help. Sarah nods, writing it down. And you said you're a president? Ibrahim nods. Yes, of Burkina Faso. She doesn't laugh. His calm voice makes her pause. Wait here, she says, rushing to a computer. Her fingers type fast. The screen fills with pictures, news, videos. Ibrahim Traoré, president of Burkina Faso. Her heart races. It's him. And you've got to see what she does next because this is where it all flips. Sarah runs back, her face white, her hand shaking. Sir, I'm so sorry. We made a huge mistake, she says, unlocking his handcuffs. You're really the president? Ibrahim rubs his wrists. I told them. She calls the other officers. Their faces go pale, shock and shame all over them. We didn't know. The big officer mumbles. We were just doing our job. Ibrahim's voice is quiet but strong. Your job? You saw my skin and thought I was trouble. You didn't ask. You didn't listen. The room gets quiet. Sarah steps up. Sir, let's charge your phone. We'll take you to your cousin right now. His phone buzzes on, full of missed calls from Aisha. He dials her. Ibrahim. Are you okay? She cries, tears in her voice. I'm fine now, he says, his voice warm but tired. I'll be there soon. Sarah gets a car ready and insists on driving him. In the car, she says sorry again. I can't believe this happened. Ibrahim looks out the window. It's not just me. It's a world that judges too fast. If this happens to a president, what about those with no voice? Sarah's eyes get wet. I'll do better, she says, and you won't believe the moment he gets to Aisha's. It's going to hit you hard. The car pulls into Aisha's driveway, a warm house with a little garden, flowers dancing in the breeze, soft light glowing from the windows. Aisha runs out, tears running down her face. Ibrahim, she yells, hugging him tight. Michael comes out, holding a tiny triplet. A little girl with big eyes. We were so scared, he says, his voice shaky. Ibrahim takes the baby, his face lighting up, the day's pain fading as he holds her close. She's beautiful, he whispers. They go inside, the house warm. With the smell of dinner, the other two babies sleep in their cribs. Over dinner, Aisha and Michael listen, shocked, as Ibrahim tells the story, the taxi, the lost address, the woman's mean words, the police, the cuffs. They didn't even ask who you were? Michael says, shaking his head. No, Ibrahim says, they saw a black man and thought the worst. Aisha's tears fall. You're so strong. But you shouldn't have to deal with this. Ibrahim smiles a little. Maybe this happened to show the world what's wrong. That night, in the quiet guest room, he sits on the bed, looking out at the calm street lights glowing soft. It's peaceful now. But earlier, a street like this turned on him. If I were a regular guy, I'd still be locked up, he thinks. His heart heavy for everyone judged like this. Their stories never told, and you've got to see what happens when the world hears about this. By morning, the story's everywhere. Someone at the station spilled the news, and now it's all over the internet. Hashtag Justice for Ibrahim trends big. People post videos of Ibrahim in cuffs. News channels show it with loud headlines. Some say the officers were just doing their job. Others are mad, demanding change. The police chief goes on TV, a nervous older man. We messed up. We're fixing it, he says, his voice shaky. The mayor, a fancy woman in her 50s, calls Ibrahim. We're so sorry. Let us fix this. But Ibrahim wants more than words. He wants change. He meets them at a press conference. The room packed, cameras flashing, reporters quiet. He steps up. I don't want pity, he says, his voice clear and strong. I want you to see what I saw. A world where your skin decides who you are before you speak. I wasn't a president. I wasn't a man. I was just a black man. A threat. This isn't just my story. It's millions of stories. The crowd claps loud. Some cry. His words hit deep. The video spreads fast. In Burkina Faso, people march, chanting his name, proud of his strength. And you won't believe what he does back home, because this is where it gets even bigger. Ibrahim lands in Burkina Faso, the sun warm on his face, the air smelling of home. His guards wait. Sir, we told you to take us. One says, half laughing. Ibrahim smiles. I wanted to feel free, but I learned freedom means being seen for who you are. At his desk, a photo of the triplets sits, their tiny faces giving him strength. His phone buzzes with messages from leaders, activists, regular people saying his story changed them. But he doesn't want fame. He wants a better world. He starts programs to fight hate, talks to kids about seeing past skin, meets leaders to push fairness. His story shines bright, showing even a president can be hurt by hate but can rise stronger. This is about all of us, the quick judgments we make, the chance to do better. Ibrahim fought hate with truth. So let's listen, let's see, let's change, because every face has a story. Be the one who hears it.